yesterday we are working on addition and subtraction of radicals, and I think I'm going to do something like that every day to check if you remember, if you were paying attention yesterday, or even if you don't remember, if you were a bit distracted, or if you for some reason you missed the class, we can check again and have a quick review. Answer to me, which one is going to be the right option, the correct option to add square root of 3 plus the square root of 3? Is the option letter A, square root of 3 plus square root of 3 equals to square root of 6? What do you think? Is the option B, square root of 3 plus square root of 3 equals 1 square root of 3 plus 1 square root of 3 equals to 2 square root of 3? Or is option letter C, square root of 3 plus square root of 3 equals what? Square root of 9, which is square root of 9 equals 3. What do you think? Which one is the right answer? Send me a message. I'm going to ask to 2 students. And if you want to help them, you can also answer. But I'm going to ask 2 students. I'm also taking notes. I don't want to call the same student every day. I'm taking notes. This real quick. The right answer is going to be letter B. This is how you add. The first one is wrong. The second one, only if it was a multiplication, would be right, but it's not a multiplication, it's an addition, so it's also wrong. And the right answer is going to be option B, is how you add 1 square root of 3 plus 1 square root of 3 equals, of course, 2 times square root of 3. Now let's move. Sorry, let's I needed to record this, but let's move to the next. And we are talking about applications. We have several applications, infinite applications, in engineering, technology, science. You can apply this this kind of knowledge. You're gonna have radicals in all these fields. We will start with very simple applications in geometry, okay? Geometry applications. Find the exact value of the perimeter. When we talk about exact value, we are talking that that means you cannot round. Okay, you cannot round the number. If you find, let's say, an example, square root of 24. Square root of 24 is this bunch of numbers. See. You cannot say, oh no, square root of 34 is 4.9. No, you are rounding. This is not the exact value. Square root of 24 is square root of 24. That's it. And to find the exact value, the only thing that you're going to do is simplify and find the square root that has no factors, no perfect square factors that you cannot factor out, and simplify. And this, in this situation, the square root of 24, square root of 4 times square root of 6, and the exact value is this. When we ask what's the exact value of the square root of 24, is 2 times the square root of 6. Okay? Just a quick explanation, what means exact value. We will not use the calculator to find the result. We have to represent using the square root. And perimeter. How do we find perimeter of a triangle? Does anyone remember perimeter of a triangle? Well, it's basically you have to sum all the sides, right? On a triangle, you have 3 sides. The perimeter is the addition. You're going to add all the sides together. So this, 2 square root of 6, plus that one, square root of 54, plus the last one, 2 times the square root of 24. Nice? This is the perimeter. I don't see yet the like radical that we can simplify, that we can factor out and simplify this expression. But maybe if we work to break down each radical, maybe we'll be able to find a like radical. Let's try. 2 times square root of 6. We can break down 6 as 2 times 3, but there's no perfect square. There's no points. We cannot simplify, so let's keep. The square root of 54 is a good one, because 54 is 9 times 6. So you can break it down like this. Square root of 9 times square root of 6. And another one, another good one, is 24. Because you can break it down as the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. Okay? Now let's work, oops, at the bottom. Sorry. Let's work here at the bottom. Two times the square root of 6 we keep, plus, what's the square root of 9? 3, right? Square root of 6 plus, what's the square root of 4? 2, right? 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 2, 4. Square root of 6. Cool! Look how cool it is. All the terms have the same square root of 6. Square root of 6 is the like term, the like radical. So we can combine 2 plus 3, 5, plus 4, 9. 9 square root of 6 is going to be the right answer, the answer that we are looking for. The perimeter of this triangle. Okay? The exact value of the perimeter. And the unit is centimeters. Centimeters. Any questions? Tell me if you have any questions. No, thank you, Jada. If you don't have any questions or any complaints or any comments, anything at all that you want to ask, maybe we can move to the practice round. Let me check just real quick. We have another example. Let me show real quick this example as well, because this is similar to other question of the quiz. Now, on this, we have the rectangle, and we want to find the perimeter. We don't want to find the perimeter. We want to find x. This is slightly different. The perimeter of the rectangle, we know this is square root of 50. This is x. So we add all the signs. X plus x to x. Square root of 50 plus square root of 50 to square root of 50 equals to, and the number, the perimeter is given, 14 square root of 2, right? And we want to find x, so we have an equation, 2x plus 2 square root of 50 equals to 14 square root of 50. We have to solve this equation. The first step is to apply addition property of equality, because we can move this term to the other side, and since it's positive, we need to move as a negative. This is addition property of equality. Remember, you can subtract, add or subtract the same term from both sides of the equation. So we have 2x equals 14 square root of 2 minus 2. And pay attention, 50, we can also break it down. Remember, 50 is 25 times 2. 25 times 2 is 50. and 2x equals 14 square root of 2 minus square root of 25 is 5, 2 times 5, 10 square root of 2, 14 minus 10, 4 square root of 2. 2x equals 4 square root of 2. Oops, 4 square root of 2. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 2 square root of 2. That is the right answer. Okay? So this is another example also involving geometry. Now we applying knowledge about geometry, perimeter. We are applying knowledge about equations because we are solving a linear equation. We are solving an equation and applying addition property of equality, multiplication property of equality. Lots of pieces of knowledge that we have to apply to solve this problem. And finally, applying also knowledge about how to add and subtract radicals or radical expressions. So the question is, there was this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It turned into a bunch of ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 digits 1. Which button did he click? There was a hint. If you look at the scientist, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 digits 1 in the calculator, and he's pointing to the button square. Let's check what happens when we press the square button, okay? Yeah, look, we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's interesting. Now to go back to a bunch of ones, we will press the square root. The square root is the button that will turn this sequence, this interesting sequence, into a bunch of ones. That's the right answer. So that's right, Talani, Elvin, that's right, Jonathan, Alexander is correct, Jonali, this is the right answer. And Terrell, I think is the first one. Thank you, Terrell. That's the right answer, Terrell. That's the right choice. The square root will turn this bunch of numbers into 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And look, I think this is interesting and curious. Look what happens if I add one more digit, one more 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna square. Now the sequence of numbers goes to all the way to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then goes back to 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try 7. If you try 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Squared. That's very interesting. Look, it goes all the way to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then go back to 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, you can do this, and depending on the same amount of numbers, 1 you have is going to be the number it goes up to. And if I have 7-digit ones, it goes up to 7 and then go back to 1. Yeah, this is, I think it's curious, it's interesting. Maybe you find this a bit silly, but the right answer is going to be the square root. That's the correct way is typing this symbol square root, and that's going to be the right answer. Okay, that's the best way of typing the answer on forms using this square root. Great, let's move on to our quiz or practice. Okay, what, Lisbeth? Good morning, Lisbeth. Show one of the questions. I'm not I think I'm not gonna show letter A. The first row is kind of the same thing we've been working this couple of days. Have just numbers or just one variable. It's not too hard. A, B, and C. Let me show letter D. Okay, letter D. Because on letter D you're gonna have two variables, and it looks confusing because you have too many variables, have numbers, but it's not. Let me show that it's not confusing. You're gonna do the same thing you've been doing this couple of days. Break down the roots, and we're talking here about cube roots. This problem is about cube roots. So we need to find perfect cubes inside the roots. So let's say cube root, and 54, if you think 54 is 27 times what? Times 2. So let's break it down into 27 times 2. We have C. C is not, we cannot simplify C, we cannot simplify 2, we cannot simplify C, but yes, we can simplify this, D cubed. So let's write here, cube root of D cubed, okay? Because I think we can simplify. Minus 2 times. And let's check with what we can simplify. We cannot simplify 2, we cannot simplify C, but definitely we can simplify D cubed, because cube root of D cubed is equals to D, right? Now we can write cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 11, 33, correct? 33. And we have this, cube root of the cubed is D, and that I think is going to be the like radical, because we cannot simplify, and probably this is going to be the like radical. Let's check the other term, minus 2 times, this is cube root of the cube is D, and yes, this is cube root of 2C is the same as that. So those are the like, this is the like radical. 33D minus 2D, 31D cube root of 2C. That is the right answer. Let me just move this to the left. It happens. Let's move just a little bit so we have more space. Yeah, the answer for letter D, 31D cube root of 2C. Okay. Now give me 1 minute, I will check attendance, and after that we can work more questions. We can work even all the questions if you need. You know that you can break down 75 as 25 times 3, right? So just that's excellent, because see, we have square root of 3 plus square root of 9 is 3 times the square root of 3 plus the square root of 25 is 5, square root of 3. And now we can identify the like radical. They all have the square root of 3. You factor out, and there's a 1 in front of this first one, right? 1 plus 3 plus 5 is square root of 3, and the answer is 1 plus 3, 4, plus 5, 9 is square root of 3. That is the right answer. All right. This is letter M. You just have to add the sides, all the sides to find the perimeter. Now let's check letter N. It's slightly different, so a little bit different because the perimeter is given. You know the perimeter, so the perimeter is equals 12 square root of 7. And we have the rectangle. This side is x. That means this other side is also x. That side is 112. That means this other side is also 112. Right? The perimeter is equals. You have to add together all the sides. So x plus x to x, 100 square root of 112 plus square root of 112 is 2 times the square root of 112. This is the perimeter, but we know that the perimeter is equals to 12 square root of 7, right? We know this is given. The question says this. Now we have an equation. Look at that. 2x plus 2 times square root of 112 equals 12 times square root of 7. To solve this equation, apply addition properties of equality, multiplication properties of equality. The first thing, applying addition property of equality, we will, this is the result, the effect. You're going to move this to the other side by subtracting from both sides 2 square root of 112. Then this will show, this will disappear from this side, will show up on the other side with a negative, right? The opposite sign. 2x equals 12 square root of 7 minus 2 square root of 112. But square root of 112, maybe we can break it down. Think. Because we worked with this before, but probably is going to be something that have to do with 7. Is 7 something? 7 times something. Square root of 112 is equals to 16 times square root of 7. If you're not sure, you can get your calculator, you can get some scratch paper and try a few combinations. At the end, you're gonna find this as the best combination, 16 times 7. Okay? So 2x equals 12 square root of 7 minus square root of 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 2 times 4, 8. 12 minus 8, 4 square root of 7. So 2x equals 4 square root of 7. Divide both sides by 2. And then you're going to find x equals 2 square root of 7. That's the answer. 2 square root of 7 is the right answer. Remember that they have both problems, M and N. They have units. This is centimeters. And letter M is going to be feet. But you don't need to type the units. The units are already given by the question. Okay? When you fill out on forms, the unit is already there. Thank you, Kion. Thank you, Kiara. So this is M and N.